Well, Sacramento, are you looking for a secret weapon to get your kids excited about science and engineering? What if the blueprint for raising a confident, creative problem solver is actually hiding in your linen closet? Our next guest is here with a delightful new book that shows us how a classic childhood activity is a perfect gateway into building crucial skills in a fun and playful way. Courtney Sino is the author of the children's book Piper's Fort Frenzy. Good to have you, Courtney. I'm so excited to hear about this book.
Hi, Courtney. Thank you for having me so much. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great. Let's talk about this lead character. Her name is Piper. Tell us how she shows how young girls are absolutely belong in this world of building and creating.
Absolutely. So, Piper is a funny, quirky 7-year-old ish character who loves to build forts around her house. And she doesn't need a lot of items. She just needs a cardboard box and some sheets and some pillows and blankets. And she just does her thing. She is very creative and persistent in this story when her fort building kind of goes awry.
I love fort building. And for a child who might find the traditional learning challenging, how does an activity like fort building actually open up a different kind of classroom for them?
Absolutely. So I think, some kids struggle, they're especially like 6, 7, 8 years old, they're learning more math and reading and things like that that might not come as easy to all kids. And so fort building is another way for them to have raw materials, be creative, and actually build confidence. So maybe if they're challenged with math in school, maybe a reset might be okay. Let's have a break and just kind of build for a few hours and kind of let them run wild. And I think that reset really gives them confidence to then maybe tackle the next math challenge that comes their way. So I see that with my own kids. When they need a break from academics, we get raw materials and they kind of go to town building forts around the house. And I do see that it's them being able to create something like that builds the confidence in them to then go apply that to another subject.
Awesome. I have kids too. I understand how that important that break is, so I'm going to try that out. And we also struggle as parents with kids wanting to be on screens all the time. So in this world full of bright screens, digital entertainment, what is the unique magic that happens when kids actually create with their own hands?
Right. Yeah. More and more kids are asking for screens. My 3 children are asking for screens all the time. And then you layer that in with artificial intelligence that's sort of also kind of on all screens. And I think kids really, that's their kind of first go to, right, for entertainment. But if you kind of say, no, we're not going to do that right now and give them these materials around their house and point them in that direction, I just kind of sit back and watch. And then, an hour will go by and they'll forget that they ask for TV or they'll forget that they ask for some iPad, to watch a show. So it's been really, really helpful in my house as far as a distraction from screens. And I think
Hmm.
the more we as parents can present that to them as an alternative, it's amazing what they can do with just boxes and things like that around their house.
I know, they're so creative. We just have to give them that chance or that little push. So how can something simple like this, making forts, be a game changer for a child who learns best by moving and doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, in the classroom, the expectation is you're sort of sitting a lot and doing something with a pencil and paper. And, all kids need to do that to some extent, but some kids are a little bit more wiggly. They learn differently. And so, even in the classroom, if they can have the chance to do building with raw materials, which I think a lot of schools try to support, and at home, if they can do that, I think that really helps diversify learning. And like we talked about, confidence building, and just gives them an alternative route, so that, when they are taking a break from having to sit still and they are feeling wiggly, it's a channel. They can channel that somewhere and create something pretty magnificent with that time that they're like, I'm feeling a little wiggly. I just need to move my hands and my body a little bit.
Absolutely. And what do you hope is the biggest takeaway for our families after they shared this book together?
Yeah, absolutely. I want kids to feel like they're empowered to create at any age, right? And so for children, if they read the book with their families, I want them to walk away feeling inspired to create something. And for parents, it's sort of a nice way to introduce imaginative play to kids and kind of read with them the story and say, hey, let's go create something, or here's some materials you could go build. And so that plants a seed in their mind that, hey, when I might want a device, I might, try this instead, right? Or it gives the
Absolutely.
parents a suggestion
Yeah.
instead.
All right, well, I know I'm inspired. Thank you so much, Courtney, for joining us. And you can find Piper's Fort Frenzy wherever books are sold, and you can learn more by heading to wimspirebooks.com.